What's happening, everybody? All right, we got week 2 preseason matchup against the 49ers at Allegiant Stadium at home. And I want to jump on here and talk about the top things that I'm looking for on the offense and the defensive side of the football. All right, there's a lot of things that we can kind of talk about and break down, but I'm just going to really focus on the main things that I'm looking for going in to this week 2 preseason game against the 49ers. So in the comments section, let me know, what are you looking out for? What are the top 3 things that you're going to watch for in this preseason game? Because obviously after we played the Seattle Seahawks, there's a lot of question marks, whether it would be on the defense side of the ball, our offensive line, a lot of talk about our backup quarterbacks and who's going to be that number 2. I mean, everybody was talking about the current situation with our backup quarterback. And so in the comments, let me know, what are you focused on, the top 3 things? Let me know in the comment section down below. And a couple things before we get into it. I will be at the game against the 49ers. And so if you are rolling up and you guys want to just chop it up, hang out for just a second before kickoff, I'll be on the second level at the Torch Bar, just chilling with a couple people, having a couple beers. So if you want to link up and just say what's up and grab a quick drink with the rest of us, man, hit me up. Again, second level at the Torch Bar right before kickoff. And in addition to that, if you can, hit that like button, subscribe, turn those notifications. My next giveaway will be at 5,500 subscribers. It'll be my 11th giveaway since starting my channel in 2023. So again, just my way of saying thank you and showing my appreciation. Also, turn on that notification so you do know when I drop more videos, but also I go live on Sundays and during the week, and we break down game film throughout the entire season. So definitely hit that notification bell if you want to check in with us live, chop it up in the chat, ask any questions, and kind of go back and forth. We definitely have a good time. So hit that notification bell if you want to hit us up. All right, so let's get into what I'm looking for. Number one, this isn't offense or defense. It's collectively as a whole. Is I'm always looking for, how are our rookies doing? Right? I'm always going to be focused on the players that we drafted in the first 3 rounds. I stated this in my previous video leading up to the Seattle Seahawks preseason game, is the players that we picked in the first 3 rounds, I want them to have an impact. I want to just see how they're progressing. They may not start right away, but at the end of the day, you always pick players in the first 3 rounds that you think or hope will have an impact very quickly within this season. I'll go into a little more detail regarding this as I break down the offensive and defensive side of what I'm watching out for. But the guys that we drafted in the first 3 rounds, Ashton Genty, Jack Besh, Darian Porter, Caleb Rogers, as well as Charles Grant, I'm going to go just a little more detail regarding that as I talk about their respective side of the ball. But those are definitely things that every single preseason game, if they step on the field, I just want to see how the rookies are doing, the ones that we drafted in the first 3 rounds. I just want to see their progress and just see, are they improving week by week as we get closer to the regular season? All right, now let's jump to the offensive side of the ball. And before I do, let me know, is there something that you're specifically looking at on the offensive side of the ball? What are you watching for? Let me know in the comment section down below. But first and foremost, I'm going to be watching this offensive line. I do hope all the starters get at least 1 series together. But as we saw last week, you had Jordan Meredith as well as JPJ and DJ Glaze. They got a very large chunk of playing time in that first preseason game, and rightfully so. It definitely looks like they need to start to gel and get a lot more continuity within the right side of the football. And so I definitely want to see Jordan Meredith, JPJ, and DJ Glaze, I want to see them get maybe even just a full half of football in to just really start to dial this offensive playbook in. We saw JPJ and he did struggle that first game, and some of it had to do with technique. We reviewed the game film, we broke it down earlier in the week, but at the same time, this entire offensive line is learning a brand new system, and we have a brand new offensive line coach in Brendan Carroll. And so even though JPJ has played guard before, it still looks like he's trying to get his technique down playing the guard position, as well as just trying to figure out this offensive scheme as it relates to the offensive line. And Jordan Meredith can get all the work possible at the center position because he's rarely ever played it. I think he played a couple series in the preseason last year. I think he needs to continue to get reps and get better and more comfortable at the center position. And in addition to that, I'm watching both of our backup offensive tackles, Thayer Mumford as well as Charles Grant. These guys, I want to see them continue to improve. I think Charles Grant is still going to be a very big project moving forward. He was also a late 3rd round draft pick, so I want to see him find success and play a role in this offense at some point in the near future. But then you got Thayer Mumford. Thayer Mumford is a veteran that needs to be able to step up if someone goes down on this offensive line. If Colton Miller or DJ Glaze goes down, we need to have somebody that can step in and fill those shoes and do a decent job. And so I want to see Thayer Mumford continue to improve, because what we saw week 1 in preseason against the Seattle Seahawks, it's very concerning if one of our offensive tackles goes down. So the offensive line, I'm without question focusing on because I'm a build in the trenches guy, and I want to see this offensive line thrive, because if it doesn't, I think our entire offense as a whole is going to struggle until we can get this offensive line going. And then next, obviously, I want to see Ashton Jeanty continue to get carries in the preseason. He got 3 carries against the Seattle Seahawks. I want to see him get 5 to 7 carries this game, and I also want to see him catch a couple passes out of the backfield. Get him in open space. Just get him comfortable with playing in the NFL. Not just with Ashton Jeanty, but with a lot of these rookies that we're going to rely on in the regular season, like a Darian Porter, like a Deontay Thornton. I want these guys to get as much experience at the NFL level in the preseason so they get all the jitters and the butterflies out, and so when it's week 1 and it's go time, they're ready to rock. So I'd like to see Jeanty, at least this game, get 5 to 7 carries on the ground, catch a couple passes out the backfield, and just get the ball in his hands and let him be comfortable. So I definitely want to see that out of Ashton Jeanty. In addition to that, on the offensive side, I want to see Jack Bech just get some more opportunities, right? Last week, I believe he was thrown out 2 times. He had 1 catch, and I want to see him, as he's running his routes, just get more separation. I want to see quarterbacks have confidence in looking his way and giving him opportunity in the game. I want to see the quarterbacks throw at Jack Bech 5 to 6 times this game, give him opportunity to have an impact on the game, but at the same time, he has to show and prove that he can consistently create separation and be a trustworthy target for that quarterback. So I want to see Jack Bech really just improve on his route running skills and show that he was worth that 2nd round draft pick. And I'm also going to be paying attention to what does the offense look like with Chip Kelly. Week 1 against the Seattle Seahawks, we went extremely pass heavy in that first half. And we all know Chip Kelly likes to run the football, and we drafted Ashton Jeanty for a reason. And so what is Chip Kelly going to do? Is he going to really try to get this running game going and establish it now and kind of set the tone as we get into the season? Or is he going to continue to go pass heavy if he feels that's what we need to work on? And I know one of the things is with a brand new offense, quarterbacks and receivers, they got to get on the same page. And sometimes that's one of the hardest things to do. You have to build that chemistry. And so if he wants to continue to improve and get that passing game going, I understand that. But at the end of the day, you have a number 6 pick overall, stay in that backfield. You want to make sure that this offensive line and the chemistry is ready with this front line so we're ready to rock week 1. And then also with all the talk about who the backup quarterback should be, I think Aiden O'Connell, he's going to get probably substantial playing time, a quarter and a half. You never know, but it would be good to see Cam Miller get at least a full half. See if he can go out there and consistently produce and just grow and continue to improve off of what we saw against the Seattle Seahawks. And so it'd be good to see Cam Miller just get at least 2 quarters so we can get a really good look as to what Cam Miller could be. And again, before I jump to the defensive side of the ball, let me know what you're looking for on the offensive side of the ball, a couple things that you're going to be watching for as the game goes on. Let me know in the comment section down below. And then again, just a reminder, if you can hit that like button, it definitely helps me out. I would definitely appreciate it. Now let's talk a little bit of defense, right? There's a lot of things that I'm going to be focused on the deep side of the ball. Let me know in the comment section what you're going to be focused on throughout the game. But first and foremost, and it's like I said, going into the Seattle game, is I'm going to be watching Tyree Wilson. I want Tyree Wilson to play damn near the entire game. I want him to get as much work and as much playing time as possible and just see, can he be anything? Can he do anything? Can we see any progress with his play? Because yes, last game, he had 2 good plays, but outside of that, he got manhandled half the game against 2nd and 3rd string offensive linemen, and he continues to just go through the motions and not have the want and desire to be an elite football player on this defensive line. And so I want to see more out of him. I want to see him not just flash and show some highlights here or there. I want consistency, because I'll tell you right now, the one guy that I'm going to be watching is Tonka Hemingway. Tonka Hemingway had a very good showing for his first game in the NFL. And like I said in my last video leading up to the Seattle Seahawks game, I don't expect a lot out of these rookies. It's their first action in an actual NFL game against true competition. And so you want to let them get the butterflies out. And that's why I don't really put a whole lot on rookies or expectation. But if you can actually show progress and you can start to flash and you show something, I think that goes a long way, because that just shows the moment isn't too big for you. And I want to continue to watch Tonka Hemingway. And I'll tell you right now, because they're going to use Tonka Hemingway on the inside as well as potentially play him off the edge, he's going to be battling directly with Tyree Wilson. If Tonka continues to play the way that he did last preseason game and continues to improve, we may see Tyree Wilson very little on the football field this season, if at all, which would be extremely disappointing for a number 7 overall pick. And just to reiterate, I'm definitely going to be watching Tonka Hemingway because obviously we have a absolute battle for the extra defensive lineman. And so I want to see, does Tonka Hemingway continue to progress and get better? And that's what I'm definitely watching out for. And then next, I'm definitely watching our secondary, right? Darian Porter, he had that missed tackle in the beginning of last game. Open field tackle. Again, I don't expect a whole lot. It's a rookie. Early in the game, got to get the butterflies out and jitters. I just don't want to see that consistently show up. And so I'm going to watch Darian Porter because everything's kind of leading to him potentially being that number 2 corner opposite of Eric Stokes. And so I definitely want to see the secondary, Eric Stokes, Darian Porter, just kind of see how much playing time they're going to get, and are they going to continue to improve as these preseason games go on. And then just like last week, I'm going to be focusing on whoever is playing the slot corner, whether it's Jeremy Chin splitting out a little bit and playing in that slot corner. Is it going to be Darnay Holmes? I'm going to be paying attention to who is playing slot corner because there's a lot of question marks on who is going to be the guy, and whoever ends up being the starter, are they going to be able to play at a high level? So I'll definitely be watching for that. But then lastly, I'm going to be very focused on just how well are we tackling. All right, that's one thing that we have to improve as an entire defense is our ability to get to the football and make solid tackles. If you want to have any chance at being a top 10 defense, you not only have to swarm to the football and have multiple hats on that ball carrier, but at the same time, you have to be good at open field tackling. And that's what we really struggled with against Seattle. So I definitely want to see that improve and get much better against this 49er team. And so that's my take on what I'm watching out for on both the offense and defensive side of the ball. And then really lastly, the one thing I definitely am always paying attention to in this preseason game is what's the competition that these players are going up against. So for example, last game against the Seahawks, we started our game with our starting defense and we were going up against basically all of Seattle's backups to start the football game. And so I'll definitely be watching out for what caliber of players are out there for the 49ers. And again, let's say Tyree Wilson just starts dominating. Well, is he going against a third string tackle or a third string guard? That's definitely something I'm going to be watching out for. Because if that's the case, you have to tailor your expectation as to whether or not he can go into a regular season game and do that against a starting offensive line. So again, I appreciate you sticking with me, just breaking down what I'm looking for on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're looking for as well. So I appreciate you. Hit that like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. My next giveaway is at 5,500 subscribers. So if you want to be included, hit that sub button. I definitely appreciate it. Again, I will go live on Sunday, but also we will break down game film of our game against the 49ers so I can give you my real opinion and assessment of how we actually did. Because at the end of the day, the film don't lie, and we all know that. So again, appreciate you. Enjoy the game. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you on the next one. I'm out of here.